over to Sable Field on the campus of Haverford School to meet up with their arch rival. It'll be one of two meetings. Bob, opening faceoff about to happen. What's going through these players' minds in a rivalry game like this?
Well, first and foremost, all you have to do is look at the weather. It might be the nicest spring day we've had in terms of temperature. It's a little over 80 degrees, a gorgeous day. And there is Episcopal face-off man headed to Princeton University, Andrew McMeekin, just a junior. Obviously, he's a talented guy, and I'm sure Haverford, first and foremost, is geared up to trying to mitigate the face-off.
That's one of my keys to the game, which we will get to. Facing off for Haverford, number 18, Adam Greenfield, a senior described as a late bloomer. He is headed to Dickinson, and he is sure to have an impact there. I've seen them play a couple times this year. And Adam Greenfield, a tremendous face-off guy. Starting in the goal, Chucky Cachuti for Haverford. And, of course, it is Nash Womack for Episcopal. Episcopal in the dark blue on the road. Haverford in their home whites. As we get Episcopal with the first real possession, and they do compile the broadcaster's jinx. Works in full effect there, Bob.
It's interesting. Actually, Greenfield won that draw. He pushed it out in front of him, but McMeekin turned and beat him to the ball. So Greenfield won the initial draw, but never got the ball, but the Fords have it back.
This is Wills Burt, gets it over to Michael Bozzi. Bozzi comes out lefty down the wing, and now it's Nolan Colleen, senior attack slash midi, gets a little inside move. Colleen, and it's kicked away by Nash Womack for Episcopal, and they will come away, the Churchmen.
Well, right away, Episcopal appears to be double polling the quality midfielders of Bozzi and Holmes for Haverford. That time, big attacking number 44 for Haverford, Nolan Colleen, got a shorty, got to the goal pretty easily, and goaltender for Episcopal made a great save.
This is sophomore TJ Lamb, number 2 for Episcopal. Gets a little bit of an inside move there on Patrick Gillen. And Episcopal settles into their first real offensive possession as they go with their speed lineup. This is Dylan Jazz. Jazz, inside shot. Oh, what a save. Not up in here, says Cachuti. Chucky Cachuti making the big inside save for the Fords.
Two great saves at each end of the field to start this game. Both goalies on their games early.
Number 25, Billy Adams, senior, committed to Army, one of the captains. Also a stud football player. Adams shot goes just wide. And that's backed up by Patrick McDermott. Episcopal possession.
Haverford pressing out a little bit, putting a little bit of pressure, perimeter pressure on the Episcopal team.
This is Michael Bozzi. Bozzi digs the shoulder in.
And early reports on Bozzi, he's a wonderful two-way midi, as is Holmes, number 17. Both of those are quality players headed to good schools.
Cornell and Maryland, respectively.
I'd say that's a pretty good.
Sophomore,
that's a pretty good pair.
Sophomore Rory Nesbitt, number 24 for Haverford in. And now it is Nesbitt.
Here's this matchup. Number 3, Bozzi's got a shorty. I'm sure this is a matchup that Haverford's looking to exploit.
Now it's Teddy Malone. Inside feed, shot, goal, finish. Ryan DeRocco, the sophomore.
I credit Bozzi with starting this. Here he's out with a shorty. He gets to the goal, but he elects not to shoot, not to force things, and he throws this ball back behind the goal. I call this just an unselfish some kids know on. You don't have to make the pass, make a pass, which Bozzi did right there and helped to lead to that goal. McMeekin gets this one pretty easily.
McMeekin gets it down. Shot goes just wide by number 15, Riley Dugan.
Villanova right down the street for him.
About
What's
5
that?
red lights.
Is that what it is from Haverford?
About 2 miles.
Villanova's got a big game on Wednesday. They're playing Denver in a game that was postponed earlier in the year, so it's a pretty exciting contest in the area. Tomorrow,
with Eddie Jones, sophomore midfielder number 4 for Episcopal. And this is Max Street. Street bears the shoulder down, gets a little foot tangled, and the ball by Teddy Malone to save it from going out.
well, Teddy Malone headed to Harvard. I'm just guessing, Booker. You know the Haverford families better than I do. Is he TJ's brother?
He is related.
Related. TJ is an exceptional player that goes to Penn State.
Haverford patiently moving around, probing the defense gently. Shot clock at 45. As Malone wheels out, gets it over to Avi Mel. Number 14 for Haverford. Now it's back behind the cage. Second midfield group in for them. To Rocco.
Well, the ball
All the way
movement
up top.
right away from Haverford's been good.
Copen gets it. Here's Jordy Holmes. Hitch move by Holmes. Shot. Oh, he locks on to www.ifeellikeRippingOutTheCorner.com. We had a great angle, Bob.
And he improved it by stepping up the field, buried that with a really nifty shot up in the upper corner.
Oh, and Bob Schreiber, for
Look
the
at
first
this.
time since COVID, wins the race to Nifty. Bam!
He looks like he's going to go back behind the goal, and the defenseman lets him get back up the field, which wasn't really the right thing to do. Holmes and Bozzi right now both have been effective off that wing dodge.
McMeekin doing work at the faceoff dot. He was one of my keys for this Episcopal team, and we will get to the keys of the game brought to you by Laxworks. And Bob will have your players to watch brought to you by Getz.
Well, we've
This
talked
is
about
Dugan.
a couple of them already.
Yeah.
Bozzi and Holmes for Haverford. McMeekin right now for Episcopal Academy.
Sam Malloy, number 30. He has jets from all the scouting reports I got and the film I was able to see. Back to Dugan, number 15. Now it's Lucas Slate, son of the great Tom Slate. Now helping coach over at Episcopal. With
Look at the
defensive coordinator Will
pressure.
Gibbs.
And when that happens, you actually have to just beat your man and try to create the slide and get them spinning, if you will, get that defense spinning.
Tristan Whitaker with the shot, but a nice ride momentarily for Episcopal. They still have a little hot water on the Haverford team, and they push it out of bounds. Great ride by Billy Adams.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Will Delaney, number 10, long stick midi for Episcopal, headed to Hofstra. Made a nice play over there, coming out of the box.
Ball goes on the carpet momentarily and is picked up by Slate.
Booker, with Coach Bates coaching, I'm interested to see if he runs some of that Princeton offense that he ran when he was at Princeton. I haven't seen too much of it. They do a lot of two-man picking and two-man games all over the field. That's how Princeton played lacrosse when Coach Bates was there. Let's see if they don't try to utilize some of that stuff. So far, they've been a little bit more spread out.
I will tell you, I saw them play Severn. Episcopal played Severn. Lost a one-goal affair. Shot goes just wide, but they did run a lot of that pairs offense you're talking about, where you pair up and you can leave your pair, go find a new pair. as we get a look at Billy Adams, big number 25. And Dylan Jazz, just a freshman, number 13 for Episcopal.
Yeah, well, they've got Riley Dugan out here looking for the ball, but being covered with the pole.
Left-handed shot, bouncer, goal, and put one on the board for the Churchmen. Coach Bates has got to be thrilled with that. Coach Will Gibbs doing a nice job as well.
Well, the senior headed to Villanova, just running across the top, gets up in the air and throws the ball high to low. That's an incredible bounce shot. I'm not so sure the Haverford goalie saw that man in front of him. I think screened him just a little bit.
Who's the Ford goalie?
Number,
Yeah,
15?
41.
Oh, 41. My sincere apologies.
Kachuti.
Kachuti. Well, it's probably, I didn't want to pronounce that.
Oh,
As you know,
me,
I struggle with these
That's
pronunciations.
That's the road I was trying to walk you down to bring our Philadelphia friends into the Bob Schreiber School of Pronunciation.
Well, the interesting thing is there's another kid that's headed to a local school. Kachuti's already, as a junior, committed to Penn. Penn, who played Cabrini the other day. First chance they've had to play a game in, 400 some days, I think I read somewhere.
Great clear by Will Costin, younger brother of Mac Costin, who was a star for Utah and then opted to take his talents to Happy Valley. Plays at Penn State now. Big Mac Costin, son of Guy Costin. Inside feed shot. What a save by Nash Womack. Just a junior, uncommitted. That might not last very long. The left-hander.
Here, look, we're going to see this replay. Beautiful feed to 14. I think that ball came, I don't think he had it completely in his cross. Episcopal
Failed to clear.
failed
Jordy
to clear
Holmes brings it.
and then stepped off sides, I believe. Nope, they've got 7 on D now. Best thing to
Flag
do
down.
here is to play hard and just have a backer somewhere in the middle of your defense in case somebody gets beat. Do not give up a goal in this situation.
This is Teddy Malone. And they do have the backer, number 27. Defenseman comes out. Backer, Malone, inside shot. He leaps in the air. Nice play by Cooper McAndrews, the long stick midi sophomore.
The Fords are going to go on extra here on this offsides, a 30-second penalty. Just based on what I've seen so far, Booker, Haverford moves the ball pretty nicely. Everybody seems to be in good spots. They're not standing around watching the other guy with the ball. Moving it pretty nicely. That time, I think Malone might have forced the issue just a little bit, but he's got a free one, so you might as well give it something to try.
Man
Starting in a
up for
1-4.
Haverford. Here's Holmes. Up top to Malone. Now it's Bozzi back to Malone. Holmes quickly back up top. Now it's Bozzi. Stick fakes, rolls through. Shot, shooter comes, but no shot. Malone, Holmes, feet moving, rolls back shot, high and wide.
Holmes looks like a pretty good-sized kid.
His father, Bill Holmes, class of '86 out of W&L.
Looks like the
This is Malone. Nice little dump down to Page. Shot inside. Rings iron. Post Malone rears his head.
well, another up pass rather than up pass, and they got a layup for Holmes, and he just missed the cage, hit the pipe. Goalie's best friend, but a really nice play.
Inside cut attempted by Queen, and Episcopal comes away with it. And Womack up the middle of the field. Errant pass gathered by Bozzi. Bozzi right-handed now. Rolls back for his left. Gives it over to Holmes.
This, if you really counted, this is Haverford's third chance at this goal. Failed to clear, then an extra man, then they just failed to clear again. So this is his third opportunity. Haverford's had with the ball on offense.
As the clock trickles down to the 1 minute mark here, first quarter, Booker Corrigan, Bob Shriver. And this is Bozzi. Cornell Bound, senior for Haverford. Coach Dawson. Rolls back for his left, comes away, gives it to Holmes. Holmes playing some pass with Malone as the clock's now at 35. Holmes gets top right side, shot, goal. Great Abe Lincoln's mullet.
Well, very similar to his first goal. Holmes just kept driving up the field. Watch this, he's coming right up these hash marks, and then the Episcopal defenseman's letting him get to the middle of the field and gets his hands free, and buried another high one past goaltender Womack. Well, it's been mostly Haverford. I was going to say if Episcopal was able to go in halftime or at the end of the quarter down 2-1, that would be pretty good. But
freshman Ben
that goal,
McCarthy taking that face off.
And they have another opportunity to tack one on before the end of this period.
Brian DeRocco with possession now, number 35 for Haverford. He gets it up top, and this is Aiden Copen. Now it's Wills Burt. Wills Burt at speed, shot just high. With 7.3 to go. Nice roll back. Malone can't get the hands free, and that'll do it. First quarter in the books. Haverford with the lead. Episcopal not going anywhere. They got a great face-off man in McMeekin. Nice goal by Jordy Holmes. Let's get to our gets. Players to watch. Bob, who do you like for the visitors?
Well, we'll start with Episcopal. Big Max Strid committed to Trinity. Apparently he's looking to possibly play football and lacrosse. So big guy, strapping guy. Long stick midi, Will Delaney, headed to Hofstra, and Andrew McMeekin, we've already talked about a fair amount. Their quality Fogo headed to Princeton. For the Fords, we've talked excessively about Bozzi and Holmes right now. Both playing midfield and attack. They're capable of doing both. Colby Kim on defense.
Great group.
And by the way, Booker, just some clarification. I did get a text from Neil Hutchinson, assistant lacrosse coach at the Harvard school where Teddy Malone is going, and he is TJ's brother.
Yeah, that is correct. I knew that. I just didn't want to let on that. Nobody wants to be the smartest guy in the room, which is well, just leave that linger. Episcopal with another face-off win. I alluded to that as we were rolling to break, that McMeekin is going to keep you in a lot of games, even with a great face-off guy like Adam Greenfield. Adam Greenfield's just a fabulous face-off guy. McMeekin is showing all of his skill. He's committed to Princeton, evidently for all the right reasons. This is TJ Lamb, just a sophomore. Left-handed down the alley. Being guarded by Patrick Gillen. And now it's Billy Adams, number 25 for Episcopal. Nice little bulldog shot, goal, Max Strid. How you like me now?
Well, you mentioned before the telecast that Max was a big, strong guy, sort of reminiscent of Greg Pike, a very big guy, or Richie Pettibone, or the Pettibone kid that went to Gonzaga. And he just bulls his way into the goal, and this is, you know, I hate to say it, he's a load. Look at that. He just overpowers that guy, buries the ball into the cage.
And I told you this when we were talking about Max Strid earlier to prepare for the game. In a 7-yard race, Max will beat anybody. I mean, he's got quicker feet, and, you know, you see that big body, and you think, oh, what a great football player, what a great athlete. But don't lose sight of the fact that he's got quick feet.
There's McMeekin.
With another face-off win. And Episcopal, interesting to see how they try to canter this. This is Nick Wolf, just a sophomore for EA. I had had the opportunity to speak with Hall of Famer Ed Garno, and he personally told me that Michael Bossie, just a great two-way midi, and a kid like Jordy Holmes, just a nose for the goal. And yes, that is Peter Garno, his father. Did a nice job at Hereford. Mac Costa, Peter Garno, and Michael Bossie were once a midfield line. Episcopal back on offense.
There's quality Paul Delaney pushing out.
Episcopal looking to spin it a little bit. Dylan Jazz, number 13, gets it up top.
Max Strees being covered by a shorty. I'm sure they, Episcopal, would love to try to exploit that matchup.
Episcopal late in the shot clock, 7 to shoot it on Cage, and a nice little snag of the pass by Kachuti. And the ball goes on the ground, and that is going to be playing without a stick. If the ball stays in your stick, it's technically a violation. Strid restarts. This is now Whitaker. Up top to Malloy. Malloy left to right split. Hop dodge, settles. Nice defense by Sam Gerber. Oh, down low shot. Oh, what a kick save. How's that not go? And then get the rebound, he saves it. Have a day, Chucky Kachuti. Bob.
Tremendous. I have no other words to describe
Is that
it.
Jake Hagelin in the goal down there? Here's a replay of this, folks. I'll take you through what's going on at the other end.
Beautiful
Inside
pass. Beautiful
Boom.
pass.
High near. Boom.
Oh,
Another
wow.
save and gathers the rebound.
I think Haverford might have to send that to those guys at ESPN and run those top 5.
Yeah, not a bad sequence.
Well, one thing down at the other end, Booker, real quick. They're shutting off Strid without the ball with a shorty, and that means that any of their slides are going to be a little bit longer, and we saw that just then. As Episcopal took nice advantage of that slide package, if you will, and dumped it down to the low guy, because the slides they got to go a little bit further because they're basically playing defense with 5 guys and not 6. Nice save by Womack here. They've had a little trouble clearing the ball. Let's see if they can't get it up at the other end of the field.
Ash Womack, just a junior. They do have some youth on this Episcopal squad as they look to just get it down the field. Wonder if we'll get a timeout as Pacelli, headed for Stevens Tech, drops it on the ground. Oh, nice little splitty on the double team. And running for his life is Whitaker. He maintains possession, a possession they sorely needed as TJ Lamb pushes it across the top. Now it's with Adams. Here's Riley Dugan. Dugan gets into the middle. Shot. Goal. Tied. 3-3. He heads into the area of operations, right in the landing zone.
Well, we've noticed on a couple of these goals, guys getting to good spots on the field, not being prevented from getting there by the defense. In this case, here's Dugan. He got to the middle of the field down at the other end and threw a beautiful bounce shot. Here he gets to the middle of the field, and this one he throws high past the goaltender. 2 goals, his second.
McMeekin guilty of going early. That'll be a pre-whistle violation. That's 1 on him.
Well, it's been, so far in this quarter, it has been all Episcopal. Haverford's had 1 decent chance. Womack made a good save, effectively cleared, but for all intents and purposes,
This is Michael Bossie.
Sorry, but Episcopal's had the ball for the better part of 4.5 minutes.
Bossie with a little dip and high shot, and Episcopal gets the backup. Great hustle by Mason Klein.
I That's a tough call, it seemed like
Yeah.
to me. When that ball went out of bounds, Haverford was closer.
And it's crucial that it's when the ball goes out, not when the ref blows his whistle, not when he turns and looks. It's when the actual ball crosses the line. Referees for today's game, Carmen D. John Domenico, James Westfall, and Dr. Kenneth Noisewater. Great crew today.
Under him.
Haverford breaks the ride, and once again, they're finding ways to make something out of nothing. This is Malone.
Malone likes this matchup. Haverford, he's just waiting for his offensive personnel to sub in onto the field, but this is a matchup that Malone wants to exploit.
Steps in, shoots, scores. Hooper drives the boat, Chief. Bozzy.
Well, Booker, the
You like that
Episcopal,
shot?
well, listen, the Episcopal defense is looking at this matchup where Malone, one their best attackman's on a shorty, so they're going to be very quick to slide. Watch. There's really no need to slide right here. So they stepped off Bozzy a little bit too far, I think. I don't know that they slid, but they were just too far off him. 27's kind of got his head on a swivel. Bozzy sticks that thing from about 12 yards. Beautiful shot. Reminiscent of Peter Garneau.
Yes, it is. Garneau wearing that treasured number 33.
I did a Haverford game a couple years ago when Garneau and Costin were on the midfields together.
Yeah.
Garneau at Virginia, Costin now at Penn State University. Honestly, I don't know that I've ever seen two middies that can shoot the ball as hard as those two kids.
Yeah, Michael Bozzy was the third guy on that group.
Was he
Yeah.
really? As a sophomore?
Yep.
Wow.
Shot just wide by Dylan Jazz. Just a freshman, number 13, the youngster. Welcome to the big time, young fella.
They shorted Striddy, elected not to try to attack that matchup. He can be utilized in a pick game. If they're going to elect to, but if they're going to elect to shut him off and make it hard for him to get the ball,
Yep.
he can be very effective by going up the field. He's got a big body and seeing if he can't force a double team or force a slide, and he can slip the pick. But he shouldn't be just standing out there as a cardboard cutout while somebody's shutting him off. He's got to get involved.
Yep. And Coach Bates knows how to use the pick game. We've seen that at every level. Was going down the list of Haverford School Hall of Famers. Rick Campbell, Ed Garneau, Dave Stilley, John Beeger, Matt Oglesby, Don McBride. And of course, thank you so much to AD Michael Murphy and my man Brian McBride, father of the great Sidney Moncrief, as we see a save and a clear. And Delaney gets it over for Episcopal, and this is now Whitaker. And timeout EA as they want to stay and take a look at what's coming up. What a fabulous matchup on a beautiful day here on the main line just outside Philadelphia, about 15 miles out. And let's look at our keys to the game presented by Laxworks. Episcopal, settle the youngsters down. They have some real youngsters on the field, and sophomore TJ Lamb, freshman Dylan Jazz. The old timers like Delaney, Strid, and Dugan need to let them know it's a rivalry game. Have your fun. Neutralize Greenfield. Greenfield's a great face-off guy for Haverford so far. McMeekin's done the job. For Haverford, I've talked about the offense needs to get to valuable space. Bozzy, Holmes, and Burton need to get to the middle of the field. And the other thing Haverford needs to do, and both these teams have suffered double-digit goal losses to Malvern. Shake it off. Get started moving forward. You're going to get another shot at Episcopal again, or Haverford. They're going to play each other twice, and they're also going to get Malvern again.
Two things, Booker. Malvern certainly
The
put
cream.
themselves in the position to be the class of the Interact this year. They've only suffered one loss to a very, very good MIAA conference school, Archbishop Spalding, who really has a quality team this year. And then the other thing is Haverford's coming off, obviously, in my mind, their best game of the year. They played what, the number 2 or 3 or 4 ranked team in the country, Brunswick School from Connecticut the other day, and lost by a goal in a really good game.
Yep.
So Haverford's seems like they're on the correct trajectory as this season progresses.
And Episcopal comes in, they're only 3-2. Haverford 7-3. You know, they played twice the game, so it's a nice little bit of experience as we come out of the timeout. 4:10 to go here. First half action. Booker Corrigan, Bob Schreiber bringing it to you. And this is now Riley Dugan. A couple goals already for old number 15.
Here's Strud kind of coming over here, trying to get involved.
Strud gets it all the way up top, pushes it, gets it over to Adams. Adams, the senior, shot goes just wide. And another race for the end line backup. Kobe Kemp doing a lot.
We had this issue earlier about when the ball goes out of bounds, too many referees wait to see who's the first guy to the sideline.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the wrong play, and it happens all the time. You have to determine when the ball went out of bounds and who was closest when it went out. Don't wait to see who's the first guy to the sideline.
Yeah.
Got a flag down.
And they're going to call it loose ball, no flag, loose ball push, and it's going to be Episcopal possession.
I think the referee did the right thing there. He threw the flag, and I think he wanted to call a push, but the ball was loose. He huddled up and made the correction properly.
This is Adams. Shot, goal. TJ Lamb making it look easy.
Just a sophomore, TJ. Nice play. Well, I said earlier, Booker, when somebody's getting shut off, 5 guys have further to go to slide. Well, the other way to look at it is from an offensive perspective, if you can spread them out, which looks like what Episcopal's intends to do by spreading them out, the slide's longer and you got more space to dodge, which Lamb just did a nice job of there. So it would appear they're comfortable playing offense 5-on-5 and kind of just not getting Max Strud involved at all.
See if he gets in the pick game. As nice job by Nick Wolf, number 5 for Episcopal, getting the loose ball. Possession now for the Churchmen. Hall of Famer at Episcopal, Brian Doc Doherty. Gabby Rowe, Chris Flynn, Billy Miller. A lot of Team USA guys right there, Bob.
Long time ago, we played a game against Episcopal when they were on their old campus.
Strud, Warburner, save. Just outside the 2-minute mark. A nice save by Chucky Kachuti.
Now, Brian Doherty, one of the great goalies of all time from the University of Maryland by way of Episcopal Academy, but his dad was a longtime basketball coach at Episcopal.
His dad's in the Episcopal Hall.
And Brian is coaching in
the Interact at Springside Chestnut Hill, or CHA.
Is he the head coach there?
He is.
Oh, great. He's a great guy, Doc.
He was also down at the Callback Academy in Florida. He'll be down at the Impact Academy, January 8th and 9th. Be sure you go to UnderArmourLacrosse.com and learn about that. Of course, these tryouts, the Philadelphia team, always stacked. Make sure you check out the Philly tryout June 15th and 16th at Maple Zone, the Under Armour Underclass tryout, the premier showcase of its kind for individuals, and of course, then HSLS, Bob. Team showcase, fabulous.
Yeah, both these teams will be there this summer in Howard County. Well, there's that example of they're shutting off Strud. They can hold this ball for the last play of the quarter because the shot clock reset, but Coach Bates calls a timeout. Not sure that's what he's probably looking to do. See if he can't take the last shot.
Yep. It is 4-4, Haverford Episcopal, the rivalry. Great shot of the Haverford sideline. Thrilled to get so much help with the setup. Of course, Brendan Dawson, Brett Manny, some of the coaches there at Haverford. But Mike Murphy, the AD, doing a nice job of helping us get acclimated here on the main line of Philadelphia.
Is Mike Murphy the same name
No,
of the
same
University
name.
of Pennsylvania coach?
There's a lot of Mike. I know a lot of Mike Murphys in my life. There used to be a Mike Murphy who was the head coach at Lafayette.
Right. Well, this is interesting. Haverford comes out with their
Yeah, look
very
at Michael
capable defenseman. I think.
Michael Bozzi.
Yeah. As you alluded to earlier, it's great two-way midi. Coach keeps him on the field in a defensive situation.
Whitaker takes it for a spin behind. He's guarded by Costin.
Austin looks to be a teeny bit bigger than his brother.
They're both great athletes.
Yeah.
Both great athletes. Father, Guy Costin, great athlete.
Golfer, University of Virginia.
Great look at some of the youngsters. I'm sure young Rocky Corrigan's back there on the hill. Dugan. Jump shot by Dugan, he scores. Hold your nose, because here goes the cold water.
I don't know that I want to be in that pile when Strid's jumping on me. Great play
Yeah.
by Dugan. Senior headed to Villanova for his third goal. He loves this jump shot. That's how he scored his first one. Just gets a little bit above the goal line extended and steps away and jumps and basically overpowers the check. He's had a good game. The only thing, Booker, I would say...
McMeekin's a stud. Here comes McMeekin, feeling it. Oh, no, you didn't, son. I can smell it up here.
Well,
Filthy.
I was going to say, by holding the ball that last minute to look for what they thought might have been the last shot, you may not be taking advantage of your quality face-off guy.
Yeah.
Well, they score with about 10 seconds left and, 13 seconds left. It didn't take McMeekin long to get this baby in the back of the cage.
He got a little pick from the referee right there.
Ooh.
Dr. Kenneth Neuswater.
McMeekin is a very
Watch
big,
how the ref
strong
picks
kid.
off the Haverford guy. That's just an unfortunate turn of events. Wow.
Well, you've got to take a defensive posture on that face-off with a kid like McMeekin in the goal. I mean, facing off, he moved. That's his second violation.
I don't think he's going to get the 3 in the first half.
You never know.
You never know.
Who's Haverford coming in with the ball?
And they're going to take a timeout, set something up with 8.2. You have enough time to score, maybe draw a foul, get a great shot off, get some good momentum, build it. They trail 6-4. They need something soon.
If
Great shot of the Haverford coaching staff. So many people in the area as we get set. So Bozzi will put it in action. Delaney on him. Bob, you called it. Bozzi comes in, side armor. 1.3 remaining, and Episcopal's going to get the backup. And quite the first half for certain. 6-4. Episcopal once trailed by 2 in this half, and they've built a 2-goal lead. Don't go anywhere. We have the Tector Shield halftime show coming up. And just like the rug ties the room together, halftime highlights and stats tie the game together. Halftime here at Sable Field on the campus of Haverford School as Episcopal comes over, takes the 6-4 halftime lead. Booker Corrigan alongside Bob Shriver. And let's go right into the highlights. It was a great first half. Ebbs and flows, momentum changing.
nice pass. Beautiful cut. Haverford number 35, but Bozzi set this up by being willing to throw a pass as opposed to the pass. There's Holmes. He's about to bang 2 goals in a row for the Fords, but this is Riley Delaney for that jump shot that he scored on later in this half for Episcopal's first goal. Here's Holmes getting to the middle of the field for his second goal, excuse me, and third for the Fords. And then here's big Max Strid just overpowering that guy's trying
The
to
beef
muscle him
dog.
up. And then here's Delaney again with a cannon. That's his second.
And this is just Malone up top to Bozzi.
That looked like a beautiful curveball.
Yeah.
And now we're about to see a couple really nice plays again by CJ Lamb there. TJ Lamb, excuse me. And then here's Delaney with that big high jump shot again. His third goal in the day. And watch this. Meakin pops this clean. Ref picks his man. He just barrels in and just buries that thing.
You talk about Max Strid being a big fella. His dad, Eric, played football and lacrosse at Amherst. And certainly looking to get the same out of his son when he heads to Trinity. What do you like about, obviously, assists for Haverford? I like assisted goals, face-offs, lopsided in the face of McMeekin, saves to Haverford.
Well, I think the face-off, even though it's 7-5, Booker, even though it's 7-5 in Episcopal's favor, I actually think it's been a little bit more significant than that, just because they popped that one with 8 seconds left before the half to score. And that's just something that Haverford's going to need to do a better job on in the second half.
A lot of Haverford's face-off wins were via violation. At least 2 of them were violations, and there was another wing violation. So that gives Haverford those 3 wins that make it look like it, but you don't get anything. You don't get a fast break out of that, fast action out of that. Man-ups, Haverford 0 for 1, although they looked pretty smooth. Episcopal yet to be on the man advantage. Riley Dugan, 3 goals and no assists. 6-4. Episcopal over Haverford on what is a Chamber of Commerce day in Haverford, PA. This is the Tector Shield halftime show. Booker Corrigan, Bob Schreiber bringing it, and these are the national rankings presented by Future Champs. Make sure you check out the Future Champs tournament. Taft, Deerfield, Brunswick. Brunswick's really good.
Well,
and then McDonough.
All New England West schools, Taft, Deerfield, 1, 2, 3. Salisbury's in that league. What a league. Bullis and McDonough. McDonough has ruled the A conference, the MIAA conference. Spalding's only loss in the A conference was to McDonough. St. Mary's has beaten Calvert Hall and Loyola to have a very good start to their year as well.
That Futures tournament. Everybody wants to go to the NCAA championships, but who has the opportunity to go to games and play in a tournament the same weekend? You do. Make sure you go to cselax.com/futures to learn how you can do it. The Under Armour tryouts for the Philadelphia girls, June 17th, and for the boys, for these guys, these stars, June 14th and 15th. And you look at the face-off guy, McMeekin. Andrew McMeekin was a star in that Under Armour Spotlight division. Make sure you check it out. Go to UnderArmourLacrosse.com and be a part of all there. You see Brian Dockery is one of the head coaches for the Philly boys. Tom Lemieux is a head coach. It's going to be a great event. It always is. College coaches do a chunk of their recruiting at those Under Armour tryouts. Make sure you get there. Go to UnderArmourLacrosse.com.
Well, the best thing so far about these summer events, the NHSLS, which is a high school only event, but the best thing so far is the NCAA is going to let the college coaches back on the road this summer, which is really exciting for kids who want to show their stuff in the summertime to these college coaches that will be thrilled to be back on the road.
Brendan Dawson, the head coach at Haverford, as we get another look at Andrew McMeekin, number 8 for Episcopal. One of the stars of this game so far, and Haverford's going to counter with number 23, Ben Truxas, the senior LSM. His brother Joel, 2017 class, and he went to Lehigh, and now he transferred over to Maryland. Shot, goal, McMeekin, start me up.
McMeekin's got 2 goals in the last 14 seconds of play. Haverford tried to counter with a pole, unsuccessful. McMeekin handled this one pretty simply. They're a little late getting out to him. I don't think, gosh darn it, I'm not so sure Haverford picked him up soon enough, especially after he buried that one right before the end of the first half.
Freshman Ben McCarthy taking the face-off this time for Haverford. Pre-whistle violation will give it over to the Fords.
That's about the only thing that Meekin has not done right. That's his third violation. But I think Coach Bates would say, that's okay.
Yeah.
We like the two goals you scored. Haverford needs some. They need something to happen, I think, on this possession. They've just given up what they've just been outscored 6-1 over the last quarter and a half, almost 2 quarters now. They need to get Holmes and Bozzi, see if they can't get them involved in the offense.
Wills Burt in the offense. Here's Colleen. Colleen gets it right-handed. Shot pushed away by Nash Womack.
Womack just holding on to the pipe there. Nice play by him. Didn't give the shooter anything. In the cage open, he didn't have a great angle, but he covered up the little angle that he had and made a nice save.
This is Billy Adams. Far side of the field, Episcopal running a bit of a circle offense right now. Bob, you like that change?
I do believe they're doing that because they're intent on shutting off Strid. They're going to run that circle, try to spread out the defense a little bit and see if they can't get a matchup with Delaney running by somebody.
Here's Jordy Holmes with the clear for Haverford.
Not Delaney, excuse me, Dugan, running by somebody.
Haverford in the home whites. Episcopal Road Blues. This is Bozzi, the Cornell commit. Little jitterbug goal line extended, pushes behind. Now it's Holmes. Shot clock under 50. Delaney on Holmes. This is Malone. Colleen now across the top to Bozzi. Bozzi draws the attention. Crafty poke check, and now the ball temporarily scooped, and we're going to get a loose ball procedural violation against against Episcopal. We'll give the ball back to Haverford. Here's Colleen.
Shot clock resets. They have another 80.
Holmes, stop and go, comes out lefty. Ball pops out on his way. Now we get a loose ball, and it's going to be ladled up towards the corner. And a nice job.
Moving pick there on Episcopal. Haverford's guilty here on that offensive series of, you know, 1 or 2 guys moving, everybody else standing around watching. They need some more ball movement.
And Episcopal rolling heavy like dancing in Highsmith right now. Sam Malloy.
Sam Malloy, just a step down 12-yarder, high to low. Haverford goalie struggling a little bit here. Just a, not sure.
It's a great shot too.
Haverford's just not checking up here very well. They're all kind of heads on a swivel. They've only got 4 guys down there on the defensive end.
And a face-off win as Episcopal now doubling up the Fords. McMeekin pressures, now it's out to Jazz. My friends at Florida Lacrosse News have done a great job of following the action. Mark and Lee, always entertained by your stuff, Bob. Episcopal content to be patient right now. This is Jones. Has Strid behind, gets it to him. Strid bears down. Double comes quickly in the form of Colby Kim. strides up to the top.
Nice cut.
Great
Beautiful
save.
save.
Cacciuti needed that one, and he made it. Chucky Cacciuti, and we're going to have procedure against Haverford. We'll turn it back over to Episcopal.
Not sure what the call was, Booker. Called a push on that shot and just turned the ball back over to Episcopal.
Here's Jones. And you see Max Stridd now kind of stalking that pick game a little bit. His mom, Karen, a great athlete at Radnor High School. Shot goes just
save
wide.
Cacciuti, big save there.
Yeah.
They desperately need, and he stepped into the crease.
Double.
Two big saves in a row by Cacciuti. Haverford's got to make something happen up at the other end. This game's getting away from him.
Pass up to Wills Burt, and he handles it momentarily, getting a lot of pressure. His father, Tom, played at Virginia. He's certainly able to handle a little pressure athletically. Does so, and now they will settle. And his grandfather, Dick Burt. What a great coach, Burt. One of my favorites. Now it's with DeRocco. DeRocco had the first goal of the game today as we see the shot on goal clock down to 30. Sprints around from behind, shot gets on the back. That was Malone with the shot, but Womack was equal. A less than spectacular clear, but a clear. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Well, we have not seen Riley Dugan in the game this half, or if he's been in the game, he hasn't been as involved as he was in the first half when he banged 3 goals. Let's see if he's not back on the field now.
This is Whitaker. Ball bounds towards the midline. It's held.
There he is.
Here is Dugan. Asking you shall receive, Bob. Ball in and out of the pocket of Whitaker. Haverford looking to matriculate the ball up the field. They're going to get a push from behind, loose ball. And it's going to give possession back over to Episcopal. Down the left side, stepping up, Jazz. Like he hit the post there.
Again, in my mind, that ball should have gone to the goaltender. That's another example of a referee seeing who gets to the end line first, as opposed to noticing that ball went out of bounds, and chances are pretty good that the goalie was the closest to it.
Referee James Westfall took the easy route.
Well, maybe I don't know. they gave the ball to Episcopal, and then all of a sudden Haverford has it. So
a shot clock.
Was it a shot?
Yeah,
was it a violation?
Was a 2 when they lobbed in the corner. Now we get a flag down against Episcopal. This might be just what Haverford needs. Here is Holmes.
Got a shorty.
Holmesy striding right-handed. Turns, throws back. Ball knocked to the turf. Wills Burt comes up with it. He was a star for that Under Armour Command Philadelphia team. And there's the save by Womack. And now the foul. But Wills Burt was a dominant force on Coach Doherty's Philadelphia Command Under Armour underclass team. And you see the reason why. He can accelerate, he can play the game.
I think Womack has settled in the cage for Episcopal, and he's really had a nice game. Nothing spectacular.
Yep.
He made a spectacular, as did Cacciuti early in the game. Both of them made two spectacular saves in like the first minute and a half. Lomax settled in and just been poised and comfortable. Cacciuti's missed a couple I think he'd like to have back. Again, we mentioned this a couple minutes ago. Haverford's in desperate need of something good to happen.
Page to Malone to Holmes. Now it's behind. Back to Holmes. He shot just wide.
Holmes could have improved his angle a little bit there. Just step up the field a little bit.
Wills Bird, Bo Page working the inside number 2 for Haverford. Now it's Bozzi. Bozzi comes in, sets the pick, and the ball gets knocked down. They'll be standing still, perhaps. Nice job by Don Pacelli, senior headed for Stevens Tech. Episcopal yet to go on the man advantage.
Well, I mentioned that Haverford last week played a great game against the number 3 ranked team in the country, Brunswick, the other day, losing at the end of the game by a goal to one of the best teams in the country. And you wonder, you know, they're kids. Did they come out here today thinking, well, we're playing Episcopal. You know, we just went toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the country.
Right.
We've settled in and we're pretty good. And maybe they have not had the focus that they needed to have for this rivalry game. It can happen.
Yeah. Some great insights from my man Bob Schreiber. Booker Corrigan alongside. As Lamb does a nice job gathering it, gets it quickly to Whitaker. And Episcopal back with possession. This is Jones. Shot. Nice save by Cacciuti. And that's going to be Episcopal ball, which I think it probably should have been Haverford ball. But our opinion doesn't matter.
But again, that ball was out of bounds 20 yards ago. Just blow your whistle. The ball's out of bounds. And give it to the guy that's closest to it. I'm not trying to pick on the officials, but it's so common in the game at all levels. You know, the college guys usually get it right, but, you know, sometimes these less experienced officials just struggle with that.
Lucas Slate shucking and jiving here at the top. Gets inside the 20-yard line.
Not sure where Lucas is trying to go, but he did draw a foul. He did draw the hold.
So we watched that play happen, and the ball's in Lucas's stick. If you could if they made you the czar of lacrosse for a day and you could change the pockets, well, would you change the pockets of the stick at all?
Well, I don't know that you change the pockets in the stick, but something has to be done. You know, good checks are rarely rewarded anymore. And there's clear, how did he get away from 3 guys there without not dropping the ball before the hold happened? Anyhow, Episcopal's on the extra.
This is their first one.
And number 15 is, my guess, the guy that they want shooting this.
Jazz, patient, gets it back to Land. Jazz, just a freshman. Outside shot. Cacciuti handles, ball goes to the ground. Whistle blows. Max Strid gives a little what for to young Will Costin.
Haverford offsides on that clear.
Yes,
they were.
Yeah. You don't miss much, Bob.
Defenseman went over the line. Haverford had nobody back.
Gets it up to the long stick, and they will now pull it out, settle momentarily. And it looked like Lucas Slate wanted to make something happen there.
Freshman 13. Dylan Jazik looks pretty good back there, handling the ball.
I was told it was just pronounced Jazz.
Jazz, wow.
Yeah. I saw the K at the end. I said, there's a K at the end. They said, it's Jazz. I said, okay.
Absolutely
I'm coachable.
is.
I'm coachable. Episcopal possession late third quarter. They had a great end of the second quarter. See what Haverford can do to counter that. Whitaker gets to the middle of the field. That one backed up by TJ Lamb.
protect the middle of the field at all costs. Unless your defense is designed to let them into the middle, which very few are, but some do.
Spot feed right there. Lucas Slate stepped in the crease, no biggie. As the clock now trickles down below 10 seconds. Kachuti pushes it up the field, and an errant pass is going to give it right back to Episcopal. And Episcopal pushes it quickly, and that'll do it for the third. Definitely an interesting shape of events here at Haverford. They are home. They're down by 4, entering the fourth. Fourth quarter is underway. Haverford wins the face-off. They are in their home whites. Episcopal Road Blues, Booker Corrigan and Bob Shriver bringing in the call. Thrilled to get some information and some insights from my man Gavin McBride, who's in close personal contact with Sidney Moncrief about the progress of today's game as Jordy Holmes possesses. Trying to figure out the clock. Sitch. Referee Dr. Kenneth Noisewater talking with James Westfall. Go right to left across your screen. As a coach, how do you handle this? I know Will Gibbs, one of the assistants for Episcopal, he has a strategy. Whenever there's a timing thing, he tries to bring his guys in and collect them. Was that something you try and capitalize on?
This doesn't give them the opportunity. It looks like they're just trying to square the shot clock away, is what I'm assuming is happening.
Chris Bates in the white t-shirt there, coaching. Doing a nice job so far for Episcopal. Batesy, former professional player for the Philadelphia Wings in the indoor back in the day.
You got to give Episcopal a lot of credit. They got behind 3-1. They're on the road, and they just stayed the course.
Yep.
They settled in. They played really nice defense. Haverford, I think, has gotten away from what gave them a couple goals early, which was solid ball movement, a really nice feed for their first goal, a couple good dodges by Holmes, shots.
You said they went down 3-1. As we look at our next game, Landon against Bullis, and brothers, that Bullis team is fabulous. So make sure you check that one out for our next Under Armour Lacrosse live broadcast.
Speaking of rivalries,
yeah,
that's a great one too, down in the DC area.
Haverford possession, down by 4. Plenty of time on the shot clock as Malone pushes it up the wing. Holmes. Back to Malone. Cross crease feed, no dice. And the ball makes the sideline. They're going to say it was tipped. They're not going to say it was tipped. It wasn't tipped, but I think it was tipped. Then you say you wanted it to be tipped. It's from Buddy. This is Adams with the running clear. Adams bound for Army. He gets it over to Lamb. Lamb settles it for the Churchman. Looking forward to seeing Giles Elliott get in for Episcopal, the grandson of the great Howdy Giles, who was the personal photographer for Arnold Palmer. He was his dentist and took the habit of taking the pictures. Big Howdy Giles, big shout out for him. Thanks for joining us. You know he's listening.
We were having another extra man. They called a hold on that play.
Maybe a push.
Well, a push, but then I think
same thing.
he held him down on the ground.
It's a little unsportsmanly.
Well, push or hold.
Dugan top center, big number 15. Max Strid, right wing. Gets it to Whitaker. Dugan feeling it. Oh, good.
Well, their last extra man, we commented that looked for 15 to take a shot, but this time he's standing in the middle. Just a little skip pass by Strid to Dugan, who's standing up top. He's canned a couple from 12, 15, 16 yards.
That is 15.
That's every bit of 15, and he can bring the heat. That's his 4th goal of the day. It's Dugan 4, Haverford 4, but unfortunately for Haverford, there's 5 other goals on the board for Episcopal.
And violation gives possession over to Haverford. It's always interesting to see the identity that the games take on, especially in the big rivalry. Games take on their own identity. And so far, this one has been a little bit of Haverford and a lot of EA. Nice little move there. That'll draw a flag every time. And we will learn of the foul. Michael Bozzi driving hard to the cage.
Bozzi got inside, the slide came, and he didn't get to the front of Bozzi. He got sort of stuck on his back hip there and just pushed him over. Haverford with an extra man. Ohms or Bozzi they'd like to get, I believe, with their hands free. Let's see, they started their last extra man in a 1-4 and broke out. The inside guy stepped up the field to a 2-3-1 from the top. Looks like they're starting in a 1-4 again.
And don't sleep on Teddy Malone on the inside as they pop and cycle around. Back up to Malone. Here's Bozzi, back to Malone. Some fast ball movement, yet to really probe the defense. Shot goes just wide.
Nice play. Number 14 just shot that ball over the cage.
Oh, there it is. Shot rings around and bounds out.
That got through Womack, but it hit the post after it got underneath him. Things going Episcopal's way right now.
Michael Zalderin with the clear on the man down, and now it's Whitaker. I saw this Episcopal team come down and play Severn in one of their first real contests. And they went down 7-2, came back, tied it up 11-11, and ended up losing by 1 late to the Little Admirals.
Severn's done a good job this year. They have a nice team. They played Spalding really well for a couple quarters. Nice play.
Inside feed, Stritty,
Just a great play
finish.
by Jazz. Everybody's watching the Dodger, not paying attention to what's going on behind them. Strid sneaks around behind the cage. Nice feed by Jazz. I really like that kid. Of course, I've always loved lefties, but he looks poised for a freshman. Handles the ball really nicely. This is a great look. Look at Strid just sneaking around. Nobody's paying any attention to him.
Stritty just slipping into the goodie room. I know you want the goodies. Face-off win by McCarthy momentarily. Ball skitters towards the Episcopal sideline. McMeekin lobs it up top, and back come the Churchmen. Here's Jones. Back to Adams. And they are content to just play a little bit of pass right now.
Booker, do you know their schedule? They're playing everybody in their league twice, right? So this will be a rematch at Episcopal. What, another 2 weeks, do you know?
About May 5th, May 7th, somewhere around.
And everybody in the Interact going to make the playoffs this year in the COVID year, or you're not sure?
I do not know their playoff breakdown.
Certainly Malvern,
yeah,
pretty secure as the #1 seed, right?
I think they will make the playoffs.
I think Malvern's only lost 1 game this year, and they blasted Lawrenceville the other day. And again, as I said, their only loss was an away game in Glen Burnie, Maryland against Archbishop Spalding. And Spalding is a quality team. If you guys ever get a chance to see Spalding play, they've got a couple big-time players.
Great take by Jazz right there. Swim move gets to the middle.
Jazz is going to be some player. Go out a little bit physically. He's just, he just looks the part.
Whitaker gets it up the land, back to Whitaker.
There's that 2-man game that Coach Bates doesn't mind running. plenty of time on the shot clock. They could just let this thing tick. There it is again.
Two-man game pays off once again.
For success. They tried it on this left side as we're looking at the goal, Booker, and then they get over to the right side. And there's Riley Dugan with his 4 goals. Nah, I think I'll set a pick now for my teammate.
And I've just been told by Penn Charter head coach Pat McDonough that everyone makes the playoffs in the Interact this year.
Oh,
which is kind of the way the MIA is doing it. A lot of teams are doing it that way.
Correct.
Why not?
Correct.
I mean, it's still an odd year. Thank goodness it's not last year. McMeekin, face-off win. What's new? Oh, behind the back, feed down. Strid pulls his way in. He got passed into trouble right there, and Jordy Holmes will leg it out. They're now bumping.
Did you see Strid chase that guy to the midline?
Yeah.
He said he had some legs, and he just showed him there.
He is quicker than you think he is. Great dodge, great acceleration. Shot goes blocked on its way. As Episcopal gets the clear. Quick little piece of info for you, Bob. Number 30, Sam Malloy, is the cousin of Peter Lake, as we see a goal on the downside. Peter Lake hit the Loyola player who went down with the shot. Maybe reminding of it when we saw that shot get hit. And now Episcopal has stretched it again with Tristan Whitaker. Wow.
Going to be a catamount, Tristan. Good play here. Fakes the pass. Looked like he was going to throw it. Got to another great spot. Look, when you see those football hash marks, if you're inside those hash marks, you know, you prefer to be at about 10 yards, but anywhere in there is a wonderful opportunity. This game is clearly gotten out of hand for the Haverford team, and you really have to give Episcopal. They've showed really good poise. They've taken advantage of some quality opportunities. McMeekin popped 2 face-offs clean for goals, back-to-back right at the end of the first half and the early part of the second half, and, you know, they've just stretched the lead. I mean, they've given up 1 goal in 3 quarters.
Yeah, they were down 3-1 at one point.
Correct.
And as we like to say, you know, broadcasters like to state the obvious, you don't want to go down by a lot early. Actually, you don't want to go down by a lot. But if you do go down by a lot, I want it to be as early as possible. Then you have time to come back. I mean, it started out, it was all Haverford, feeling great, doing things. And ever since, you know, about the turn of the first quarter to the second, or late first quarter.
Well, one thing that happens, Booker, and
let's get to our New York Rivals play of the game. Presented by the STX New York Rivals Challenge.
This is Jazz and Strid sneaking around from behind. Nobody's paying any attention to him. And Jazz finds him. Really a very pretty play by Episcopal. And Haverford's been guilty of just not being as crisp, I think, as they were the other day against Brunswick. You know, they're standing around a little bit. And again, I'll go back to, let's give Episcopal all the credit. Womack's made a couple big saves when he's had to. And McMeekin has been a force here in the middle of the field. Dugan, Strid, Jazz, very nice.
Back to the face-off dot. McCarthy pushes it forward, but Episcopal gathers the loose ball. With a 12-4 score here, Bob, is this indicating to you that Episcopal might be able to take on Haverford?
Booker, I'm sorry. I'm a big proponent of the age-old line. You're never as good as you look when you win, nor as bad as you look when you lose. You know, you'll go back and look at the film. Haverford will realize the mistakes they made. And if you're the Episcopal guy, you know, you're going to look at this game and say, oh, geez, we made a mistake there, but we got away with it. So, you know, they'll reshuffle the deck. It's a rivalry. I can't imagine that the next game will be anything like this one. in terms of the disparity in the scoreboard.
Defensively, number 21, Matt McCarthy, junior committed to Penn, has played great for Episcopal today. As Haverford looks to find some way into this, having a great day, Episcopal defense. Tom Slayton, Will Gibbs, the defensive coaches for Episcopal. There is that defense on display. This is Billy Adams.
Billy's got some legs. He pulled away from that ride, got up the sideline, and it looked like Haverford had a chance to get him out of bounds, and he pulled away pretty good.
And they give it back to Billy Adams. Billy Adams, a stud football player, running back for Episcopal.
Well, he just showed his running back skills on that ground ball.
This is Alex Pillard. Excuse me, Lucas Slate. And he gets demolished as he lets that go. Costin with the backup.
See how long they waited to call that out of bounds. Clear away from the box is usually the right thing to do. So many teams are subbing in and out of the box. It's a huge danger zone. Haverford effectively swung that ball away from the box, came up the opposite side for a pretty simple clear.
Miles Bahaldron doing the clearing work for Haverford. Bozzi rolls back. 3:10 to go in the fourth.
Good switch.
This is Malone.
Good switch by Episcopal. They didn't have a good matchup there. Defender right there, 23. Pizzelli, Don Pizzelli made a really good switch to send that shorty off of Malone while he picked him up behind the cage.
Here's Malone coming off the pick from Copen. Inside feed, that was flash and cash. Bozzi with the finish, his second goal of the day.
Good handle inside by Bozzi. It's usually a very hard place to feed, especially when the ball's up top, because all defenses are loaded up on the inside. But look, this one defender behind the goalie, he's actually in the wrong spot, number 5 there. If he's in front of the goal, that guy behind the goal's doing nothing.
Yeah.
He needs to be in front of the goal where he might have helped out there, but Bozzi made a great play.
Only Jesse Kohler can score from behind the goal. Or Wayne Gretzky, but then again, he could do everything. Extended face-off, ball goes in the air. And it's gonna be Episcopal possession.
One thing, Booker, I think Episcopal's got some good size. 32, 15, 8, the face-off guy's a monster. 12 on defense is a big guy. You talk about Adams, the running back.
Max Strid, beef dog.
You know, they look at the size. They have quality size.
Max Strid, he's no Bill Pope, but he's big.
He's not quite as big as Greg Pike or Pettibone either, but he's
We're
big.
Bill Pope.
Well, he's big, though. This kid's had a wonderful game. And what impresses me, actually, is he's taken advantage. He hasn't tried to do too much, but he's done, obviously, enough. He scored 4 goals, but he's let the game come to him a little bit.
And this just hasn't been Haverford's day. This is a talented Haverford team. Like you said, they took Brunswick right to a goal. So don't let this score deceive you. They just, you know, momentum breeds momentum, and Episcopal got it on the reg all day long. Haverford is a talented team, and Coach Dawson and his staff will put some pieces together. I would look out if I was Episcopal the next time they played. Good shoot. Yeah, gets a break from the post.
That time, Dugan took that shot with about 2 seconds left on that shot clock. Nice play by Episcopal, just eating that time down. Now, that's one of the disadvantages the shot clock presents now, because in the past, you could warn a team for stalling.
Yep.
But with the shot clock, there's no warning of stalling, and you can eat 80 seconds pretty quickly. or not
In
quickly,
about 80
obviously.
seconds.
But no, but my point was you can eat it without any pressure about
Yeah.
keeping the ball in the offensive third of the field, and that they might need to tweak that a little bit, especially in the latter part of a game.
Can't wait to talk to my man from PhillyLacrosse.com, Chris Goldberg, about his impressions of this game. He has his finger on the Philadelphia lacrosse scene like no one else. Boys and girls, he does a fabulous job.
Booker, have you determined your player of the game yet?
Yeah, number 15, Riley Dugan. 4 goals. Great day clearing, not a lot of mistakes. Smooth. And he will be our player of the game, the MedStar player of the game.
Is this a dog pile event here for the?
I think it's too lopsided to dog pile. But we will find out right now.
We're pretty excited.
There you go. Might just be a high five pile as you see Coach Chris Bates and his staff getting some congratulations and a well-earned victory by Episcopal.
And knowing full well that there's still another game between these two to be played.
You don't go stomping the Star.
That's correct. You don't want to put anything on the proverbial locker room wall for the Haverford Forge for the next show.
The MedStar player of the game, Bob Riley Dugan. Here he is.
Powerful lefty, just powerful. 2 jump shot goals. Here's one right here. Watch. Step away and then jump and bring that ball top down. Here's the extra man tally. A big blast from about 15 yards for his 4th goal of the day. What a game.
You could tell he was feeling it. Today's game is presented by Laxworks, the ultimate lacrosse rebound wall. By MedStar Health. MedStar Health, our physicians, nurses, researchers, and support staff are all focused on one thing, caring for you and your family. By Under Armour. When you put in the work, nothing can stop you. Reach your goals with Under Armour. And Corrigan Sports Enterprises, sports marketing and event management professionals, bringing corporate marketing to life from conception to fruition. Our next game, Landon Bullis, 4:30 on May 6th. It's at Bullis. That is going to be a dogfight, Bob.
This was a rivalry game.
Yeah.
That's a rivalry game big time.
Yep.
It's maybe not Landon Prep, but Bullis, who has surged into the top of the IAC in the DC area. There's, we just saw Dugan's first goal of the jump shot. But anyhow, Georgetown Prep and Landon have a long standing rivalry between them. But in the last couple years, Bullis has hit the top of the IAC pretty consistently, and Landon and Prep don't take kindly to somebody stealing their thunder. So it's become a rivalry game.
For Bob Shriver, I'm Booker Corrigan saying thanks so much for making this part of your sports viewing day. Thank you to our executive producer, Ryan Corrigan, and of course, the Godfather himself, Lee Corrigan. Remember, you got one shot at today.